Hi, I'm MJ, and I'm here to talk about why Interview with the Vampire is one of the better written shows of our generation, and we just haven't caught up yet. And here's why. So, genuinely, a lot of the things that really just sell this show, particularly, is what honestly is the original fan base that the show had, which is off of the books, which is written by Anne Rice. This universe, and what also a lot of people don't know, that this series is not actually based off of Louis. This series is actually based off of Lestat. He's the main character in almost in all of the books, and he touches everything. But I don't think what people are particularly talking about is how well written the show is. I think that it is so intentionally well written, and the dialogue has just so much presence, and it makes sense. And even the going back to lines now, they make even more sense, and they just fit so cohesively with the story that it's really trying to tell, that has technically already been pre-existing but now has so much more modifications. And I think also making Louis black was also one of the best things you could have done for the show, because honestly, if you had pitched the show still with Louis being a white man, um, I don't think it would have done as well. And also, the aesthetics genuinely of black people and vampirism honestly needs to be studied, because we look really, really good. Hint, hint, my Halloween costume, by the way. But and we also saw with Sinners this year, which I think helps boost why people should watch Interview with the Vampire, because they center a lot of Louis' character now around his blackness rather than him being a white man, um, who's kind of gay, but now he's a black man who's gay. So it just really helps with that, especially with Sinners. It just really boosts that style right now, because I think people had it was a thing in the early 2000s. It kind of fell out, but it kind of came back, and we're really making it work. And we need to emphasize that more. And now we do have another beautiful black woman on the ensemble as Akasha. So that is also just another reason why you should watch. And if you have any idea who Akasha is, Aaliyah has played her originally in Queen of the Damned, um, where it does feature Lestat, because I'm telling you, he's in everything. But Aaliyah played Akasha, the Queen of the Damned, and she looks good as fuck. And that was also during the time when like Blade was out, and you know other vampire mediums were also getting popular. But I think now we should really just talk about how like good and appealing black vampires are. And try not to spoil, but a lot of the things of the show is just so, it just echoes in this show so much. It just echoes so well with the archetypes of a lot of the characters that they share, and the dynamics and the paradigms they put themselves through, and how it actually shows up. And now when we're going into season three, I really think that it's going to be peak television, and this is really when it's going to really blow up. And like during this time, this is honestly probably one of the best PR things that they did, was put second season on Netflix and announce that they're doing season three, and also do another series, while they also had Mayfair out, which is also doing pretty decently well. And I think also another big factor about how this show is doing so, or it should be doing so well, is because of how good, or how into it the actor Sam Reed is into being Lestat, and how much he loves the character Lestat. Like, you can see that he brushed up on his character, and not just brushed up, he 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 cleaned the whole place. Um, so you can tell that he knows a lot of the connotations of the character, and a lot of how to portray this character, because he is almost a caricature. He is almost theatrical. I mean, he's been always that. He's just a theater kid in general, but like you can see how Sam Reed can really portray the character well. Um, and make you really also love Lestat too, even though yeah, It's like you can't hate him because like you want to date him too at the same time. And this also goes for Jacob Anderson. Um, Jacob Anderson literally is demolishing the role as Louis. He has sold it like 10 times and a half. Like the show honestly wouldn't have been as good if they didn't make him black specifically, and maybe if they didn't cast Jacob Anderson. I think they would have still done well if they made him black, but I don't think they would have done still nearly as good as that Jacob Anderson because he just has that suave, and there's gonna be those British people who can do some type of American accent better than us, and they're gonna get hired to do it every single time. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Hey, you're worried about them? They're taking the jobs from the Americans. And then obviously we cannot forget about the true star of the show. This is the real star, and it's gonna be Claudia. And honestly, it's both of them. And honestly, it might honestly be more truly Delaney Hale because she just sells season two Claudia so much, and she you can really see how this hurt girl literally like had to sit through their stormy romance of those two, and you know and by that time she was like 40. You know she was sick of that shit. She was sick of that shit. If you were 40 and you had to sit through, no, 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 no. But I also see a lot of people who like. I think there's also a lot of like just stigma around people who take up role after someone else, as someone who actually has experienced that, where you had to take up a role after someone else when something's already happening. It's like you you have to be able to take the pressure, and Delaney's just so gracefully and elegantly been taking that, and has kept her social media presence probably not as much because of probably so much things that she could have probably have encountered through this. But honestly, I haven't seen too much, but still there are people who kind of do talk about it, and it does kind of feel like colorism because Bailey Bass is still a beautiful black woman, but Delaney Hills might be just a. And if Bailey Bass is pro-black, as I'm definitely sure she is, she would definitely understand how colorism could definitely affect that too. So, um, and I think it's hard to cover someone who's already doing a great job to do a great job, and they both did a great job. So don't compare the two. And just move on and like accept that happened. And honestly, it honestly fits for the story because of some of the things in the story about how you can also just have false narrators. Um, but I think that's just really important to know when, especially addressing black women. Like I think we just always see them getting compared, and this is the another time, and especially when like people who are trying to cast Akasha too, because a lot of if she was going to be a black woman, like there could she could have been they could have casted her not that, but she was. Um, but I'm just really glad that we get to see Claudia in season three because that's my daughter. That's our daughter. If you don't care about Claudia, then you're probably one of the people she's gonna haunt when she comes back from the afterlife. And and those of us who believe that Claudia's return is the rebirth of Jesus Christ, then raise your hand and join the Discord. We make cookies. Anyways, so if you're watching this and you haven't watched Interview with the Vampire, please watch Interview with the Vampire, please, because it's so good. It's so good. Why are you taking this from yourself? I don't care if you hate gay people or hate vampires or whatever reason. You should watch it. Thanks.